The 1966 U.S. 1-cent coin, commonly known as the Lincoln cent, is a fascinating piece of American numismatic history. While it is not as widely recognized for its rarity as some other years, the 1966 penny is significant due to the historical context in which it was produced and its connection to broader changes in the U.S. Mint's practices. In this script, we will explore the design, history, rarity, and value of the 1966 Lincoln Center. We'll dive into what makes this coin interesting to collectors and whether it holds any potential to be worth more than its face value. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation since 1909, when it was introduced to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. The design was groundbreaking, as it marked the first time a U.S. president was depicted on a regular issue American coin. The 1966 cent carries on this long tradition, with a design that remained largely unchanged from earlier decades. However, the 1960s were a turbulent time for the U.S. Mint. In the early 1960s, the country experienced a coin shortage, particularly with silver coins, as collectors and the general public hoarded them due to the rising value of silver. This shortage extended to all coin denominations, including the cent. To combat this issue, the U.S. Mint made significant changes, most notably with the Coinage Act of 1965. This legislation eliminated the use of silver in U.S. dimes and quarters and resulted in the temporary suspension of mint marks on all U.S. coins from 1965 through 1967. The 1966 cent, therefore, was produced during this period without a mint mark. This lack of a mint mark, which usually identifies which mint produced the coin, is a direct result of the U.S. Mint's efforts to discourage coin hoarding during the coin shortage crisis. As a result, all 1966 Lincoln cents, regardless of where they were produced, lack the traditional D Denver or S San Francisco mint marks. This makes the 1966 cent historically significant as part of a three-year span 1965 to 1967 when mint marks were absent. The design of the 1966 Lincoln Center remains one of the most iconic in American coinage. It features the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, created by sculptor Victor David Brenner. Lincoln's portrait faces right, and above his head is the word Liberty. To the left of Lincoln's profile is the motto "In God We Trust," while the date 1966 appears to the right of his bust. On the reverse, the coin features the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to replace the previous wheat ears design that had been used from 1909 to 1958. The Lincoln Memorial design was created by Frank Gasparo, and if you look closely, you can see a tiny image of Lincoln seated inside the memorial. Above the memorial, the words United States of America are inscribed, while the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one appears just below it. The denomination 1 cent is prominently displayed at the bottom of the reverse. The 1966 cent's design is relatively simple but carries a deep connection to American history. Lincoln, one of the nation's most revered presidents, is depicted on the obverse, while the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse represents his legacy as a leader who preserved the Union during the Civil War. The 1966 Lincoln Center is made from the same composition that had been standard for pennies since the 1860s. It is composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc. This composition remained in place until 1982, when the U.S. Mint switched to a primarily zinc composition with a copper coating due to the rising cost of copper. In terms of size, the 1966 cent has a diameter of 19 mm and weighs 3.11 grams. It features a plain edge, as is typical of U.S. cents. While the 1966 Lincoln Center is not considered particularly rare, it holds some interest for collectors due to its historical context and the absence of mint marks. The U.S. Mint produced a large number of cents in 1966. Over 2.1 billion were struck, making this coin quite common in circulation. Despite its large mintage, collectors still seek out well-preserved examples of the 1966 cent coins that are in uncirculated or near-perfect condition can command higher prices than those that have been heavily circulated. The key to determining the value of a 1966 cent is its grade. Grading refers to the condition of the coin, with mint state MS grades being the most desirable. An MS-65 or higher grade 1966 cent could fetch a premium, but even then, it is not considered a rare coin by numismatic standards. One thing that collectors look for in 1966 cents is errors or die varieties. Error coins, such as those with doubled dies, off-center strikes, or other minting mistakes, can be worth significantly more than regular coins. However, no major error varieties have been widely reported for the 1966 cent, meaning that most examples are valued based on condition alone. For most 1966 Lincoln cents in circulated condition, the coin's value is limited to its face value of 1 cent. However, as mentioned earlier, coins that are in uncirculated or mint state condition can be worth more. In mint state MS-65 condition, a 1966 cent could be worth around 5 to 10, depending on the market and demand from collectors. Higher grade examples MS-66 or MS-67 could be worth slightly more, potentially reaching 20 or 30 in value, though such examples are rare. For those who are lucky enough to find a 1966 cent with a significant error, the value could increase dramatically. While no major errors are known for this coin, small varieties or errors could still command a premium. If you believe you have an error coin, it's worth getting it authenticated and graded by a professional coin grading service to determine its true value. Although the 1966 Lincoln Center is primarily composed of copper, its metal content alone does not make it particularly valuable. While copper prices have risen in recent years, the value of the metal in a 1966 cent is still less than its face value. In fact, due to laws prohibiting the melting of U.S. coins for their metal content, the intrinsic value of a 1966 cent remains tied to its status as legal tender and as a collectible item rather than its copper content. For coin collectors, the 1966 Lincoln Center is often part of a broader collection of Lincoln cents. While not especially rare or valuable, it holds historical significance due to its place in the U.S. Mint's response to the coin shortage of the 1960s. Collectors may be drawn to the 1966 cent as part of a series that includes other coins from the 1960s, particularly those from 1965 to 1967, when mint marks were absent. For those just starting out in coin collecting, the 1966 cent can be an affordable and accessible entry point into the world of numismatics. Its historical background, combined with the potential for finding higher grade or error coins, makes it an interesting coin to add to any collection. The 1966 Lincoln Center may not be the rarest or most valuable coin in circulation, but it holds a special place in the history of American coinage. As part of the U.S. Mint's response to the coin shortage of the 1960s, the 1966 cent is a reminder of a time when changes in materials and minting practices were necessary to ensure the availability of currency. While most 1966 cents are only worth their face value, coins in higher grades or with unique errors can be worth more to collectors. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or someone just starting to explore the world of coin collecting, the 1966 Lincoln Center is a fascinating piece of U.S. history that deserves attention.